Oh. Om Bhurvah Svah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Good afternoon to one and all. Today we are going to discuss about the concept and computation of standard deviation. Standard deviation is one of the most widely used measure of dispersion, and the use of standard deviation is mostly made during hypothesis testing. Any value of standard deviation makes crucial sense to check the variability of data, especially to go for analysis of variance, analysis of covariance, etc. So let me stress once more, standard deviation is one of the most reliable, valid, and widely used measure of the dispersion. Let me deliberate the concept, a computation procedure, and application of the standard deviation by slide set. I hope slide is visible to everyone. Dr. Archana, I could see you. Just give me signal by raising your thumb if I'm clearly visible and audible. Dr. Archana, audible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So let me highlight the slide and go for the further deliberation. Yeah, I was just talking to you people that, standard deviation is one of the most important, reliable, valid, and widely used measure of dispersion. And it was first conceptualized by the Carl Pearson in 1893. And this is also called root mean square deviations, because for the computation of standard deviation, we first calculate the deviation of the items, and then we square it. Finally, we add the square deviations, and lastly, we go for the computation of square root. So this is also called mean square root mean square deviations in that sense. I mean, if you look at the computation formula of standard deviation, you will clearly understand why it is called root mean square deviation in another term. And standard deviation is simply denoted by sigma. If standard deviation is related to the population, then it is mostly denoted by the letter sigma. I mean, this is the symbol to denote the standard deviation of the population, and simply it is abbreviated as SD. If we look the SD in the books of statistics, you have to understand this is the symbol for standard deviation. And as a matter of fact, sigma is the symbol of standard deviation related to the population, and small s is the symbol of standard deviation related to the sample. So you have to be very clear about the use of these two symbols: sigma, population standard deviation; small s, sample standard deviation. It is defined as the square root of the arithmetic mean of the squares of the deviation of the values taken from the mean, and denoted by sigma. I already talked this point. Okay, let us move ahead. Yeah, just to look at here, sigma. This is the general computation formula for the estimation of the standard deviation. As I told you, the sigma denotes the standard deviation, and particularly sigma denotes the standard deviation of the population, And sometimes we make use this symbol to denote the sample standard deviation too, but mostly in most of the books of the statistics, sigma is used to denote the population standard deviation. Okay, let's look at here. Standard deviation is equal to square root sigma x minus x bar whole squared by n. So just to try to understand this point, right? The root mean square deviation. See, root mean square deviation. X minus x bar is the deviation of the items from the arithmetic mean, right? I have already told this point. In case of average, I have to say mean deviation too. We have already learned how to compute the mean deviation from the mean, arithmetic mean, and mean deviation from the median. So in that context, we are very clear what exactly x minus x bar stands for. This is the deviation of the data points from the mean value. I have to say central value. In fact, that is arithmetic mean. So this is the deviation. And if you square all the deviations and sum together, that will be sum of the square deviations. And once we divide the sum of the square deviations by the total number of data points, then it becomes the mean. It becomes the mean of the square deviations. And once we, take the square root of the mean of the square deviation, then it becomes root mean square deviation. So if we'll look at this formula for the computation of standard deviation, it appears as root mean square deviations. And this is also written as square root sigma x square by n. If we'll put small x in the place of x minus x bar, this formula can be modified as square root sigma x square by n. So these two formula have the same meaning, but just difference is we are replacing x minus x bar by small x for the sake of the convenience, and I have to say easy writing. So coefficient of standard deviation is also called the coefficient of variation. Try to understand, coefficient of SD is also called coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation, and coefficient of SD is denoted as CB. CB stands for coefficient of the variation, and that is the standard deviation divided by x bar. When we divide the standard deviation by the arithmetic mean, then this ratio is called the coefficient of standard deviation or coefficient of the variation. Both are the same thing. I think you are clear up to these steps. Let me move ahead and talk a little bit more about the computation of standard deviation in case of individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. Once we collect the raw data, and that can be displayed and presented into three types of frequency distribution: individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. I kept talking about these three types of frequency distributions and the associated formula to compute measure of central tendency and measure of dispersion in three different styles of the data presentation. I have to say in three different styles of the frequency distributions. So let us go ahead how to compute standard deviation in case of individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. Okay, let me move ahead and display the formula to be used for the computation of standard deviation in case of individual frequency distribution, discrete frequency distribution, and continuous frequency distribution. So this is the formula to compute standard deviation in case of the individual frequency distribution. We have already talked about the meanings of the symbols used here. Okay, for more clarification, let us go quickly to the example. See, this is a data set in the form of the individual frequency distribution, and there is no proper arrangement of the data, and the data points are put randomly. There is no specific order: 16, 20, again 18, 19, 20, 20, 28, 17, 22, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So total number of data points n is equal to 10 here. And this data set is not arranged in a specific order, neither in ascending order nor in descending order. And there is no need of arranging data points in a specific order for the computation of the mean and standard deviation, because order has nothing to do for the computation of the standard deviation. So you need not be worried about the arrangement of the data. Simply you can use this data pattern as it is for the calculation of the mean and standard deviation. So let us talk here, how to compute standard deviation here. Let me write. First, you compute the mean. How you'll do that? First we have to calculate the sum of all these 10 data points, and that is to be divided by 10 to compute the mean. And in this way, we'll be able to compute the mean. Then we have to subtract mean from every data points. Okay, let me. Okay. Minus x bar, 16 minus x bar, I minus mean. Again, 20 minus x bar, mean. And then 18 minus x bar. So you have to subtract the mean, arithmetic mean, from all data points, and finally 20 minus x bar. So that will be the deviations. That will be the deviation, and this is called x. In case of standard deviation, what we say it? The deviation of the data points from arithmetic mean is denoted by small x. And again, the formula is under root, square root, sigma x square. So we have to compute the square of these deviations. So once you will, compute the difference, that is to be squared, and that will be x1 square, x2 square. This time not specific about the exact values here, just making use of the symbols, x3 square. So finally it will be x squared 10. And when we'll add all these square deviations, that will be sigma x squared. What is this? This will be sigma x squared. Now it's quite simple. Sigma is equal to sigma x squared by n. You have computed sigma x square here. Just you put this value here as a numerator, and n is simply 10. And divide this numerator by 10 and compute the square root. That will be the value of standard deviation. This is standard deviation. I think you understand how to compute the standard deviation in case of the individual frequency distribution. Let us move towards the computation procedure of standard deviation for discrete data. Just look at here. This is the again case of the individual series, there is another way of computing standard deviation. This is called the assume mean method. But I think it's not necessary for you people to know number of formulas to compute same standard deviation, because our main motto is just to learn some specific skill to compute the standard deviation and make its use for data analysis, especially hypothesis testing. So I am not prioritizing the teaching of all these formulas. It has no more meaning for you people, because you are the medical practitioner. You have to learn at least one commonly used method for the computation of standard deviation. Okay, so calculate the SG of the following data. So I advise you to take the snapshot, I have to say picture of this data set for your self practice. Let me stop 2-3 सेकेंड हियर. आप इसकी फोटो ले लीजिए और अपने आप घर में होमवर्क के रूप में स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन निकालिए. Again, this is an example of the individual frequency distribution. Okay, so we can also use the direct raw data for the computation of the standard deviation. These days, we are well versed with the computation device, just like computer, laptop, mobile phone, calculator, etc. So it is not tedious to compute standard deviation as it was in earlier days in absence of the computational devices. So this is the direct formula. We can make use of the direct raw data points to compute the standard deviation. Just, you look at here, these are the raw data set and data points. So in fact, okay, let me clarify here, just 1 minute. Okay, these are the X values, and what you need here, sigma X square, you keep going to compute the square of all these points. You just, compute the square of all these points and add them. That will be sigma X square. And similarly, if you add all these values, together, that will be sigma X. And you already know number of data points here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now you have sum of all data points, that is sigma X, and the sum of the squared data points, that is sigma S square, and the value of n is also known. And simply you can, put their values here. Sigma X square, this is the value. You put here, n is 10. Again, minus the value of sigma X is here. So it should be squared here, that is 1 point. So in this way, you can compute the standard deviation in individual series by making use of the raw data points. I think you are clear up to these steps. Let me move ahead. Still, we are talking about the computation of standard deviation in case of the individual series by using 2 different formula. Okay, so this is the case of the discrete frequency distribution. Here, one data point, at least one data point has come more than once. So if the data set is having at least one data points with more than one occurrence, then this is called the discrete frequency distribution. And the formula for the computation of standard deviation in case of the discrete series is a little different. Here, the only difference is the concentration of the F frequency everywhere to compute the sigma Fx and sigma Fx square. I mean, here we have the frequency and we have to account this in the computation of the sum of the data points and sum of the square data points. So again, here you can make use direct formula and this formula. See, this formula is exact one, but if you will have the decimal value of the mean, then every deviation will come in the decimal figure, and even you will square the deviations, again that will come in decimal. In such case, computation becomes tedious. So in such condition where the mean is coming in decimal figure, it is safer and user friendly to go through another way. What is another way? The use of the direct formula. So you can look at here, sigma is equal to okay, sigma is equal to under root sigma fx square by n minus sigma fx divided by n whole square. So here, you have to compute first fx. Let's say I want to put fx here, fx 7,321, 73 times 7 times 321, 8 times 432, right? 5 times 1050, 12 times 6, 72, 4 times 7, 28, right? 8 times 3, 24, 2 times 18. And you add all these values here, that will be sigma fx. And here you compute x square of all the figures, 3, 9, and then it becomes 4 squared, 16, 5 squared, 25, right? And 36, 49, and 64, and 81. And again, you have to multiply these squared values by f, and that will be fx square. Okay, just let me erase this. No. Okay, this is now we have to compute the fx square. So this is the f, and this is square, x square, 63, and you multiply 8, 128, and 25, 10, 250, and I think 43, 432, and again you have to multiply 49 by 4, 196, and 64 by 3, 192, and 81 by 2 is 2, 162. Once you will add all these values together, that will be sigma fx square. Now we can put these values in the formula. Sigma is equal to fx sigma fx square, sigma fx square by n minus sigma fx sigma fx by n whole square, that comes under the bracket. So you have now value of the sigma fx square. Just you put this here. N is 10, it's already understood. And the value of sigma fx is here. You substitute this value here. So if the mean is coming in decimal figure, to make it more easier and quicker, you can go through this formula, and this is more safer and user friendly. You have already calculator, cell phone for the computation. So this is the way to compute standard deviation. I hope you understood up to these steps. Let me move ahead and talk a little bit about the computation of standard deviation in case of the continuous series. And again, I'm skipping the assume mean method here. No need to go through many formulas to compute the same thing. Our concern is just to understand the meaning and at least one commonly used technique for the computation of standard deviation. Okay, this is the assume mean method. This is step deviation method. It makes the computation short and easier. Okay, so let us go to the another example that clears the computation of standard deviation in group data. I mean the continuous frequency distribution, and this is the case. Just look at here. This is the continuous frequency distribution, 0 to 10, 10 to 20. Of course, these classes are the exclusive class intervals. So that is continuous frequency distribution. And here our concern is to compute the standard deviation. So let me clarify how to compute the standard deviation here. In such case, first you compute the mid value. Mid value, this is not exactly x. Mid value, and say this is the class, and here you have to compute the mid values 5, and here 15, 25, and 35. Here 45 and 55. Here I think 65 and 75. So these mid values are to be treated as the raw data points, as in case of the discrete frequency distributions. And rest procedure same. You can apply the same formula. Sigma is equal to the square root sigma fx square by n minus sigma fx by n whole square. Here, these mid values are to be treated as x. That is the main thing. And n stands for the sum of the all frequencies. You have to add 5, 10, 15, up to 2 plus 20. It becomes 35 plus 40, 75 plus 3, 105 plus 20, 125 plus 10, 135 plus 4, 149. I think n is equal to 149, I guess. So this is the total sum. So the only additional thing what you have to learn to compute the standard deviation in case of group data, I mean continuous frequency distribution, is the computation of the mid values from each class interval. And the computed mid values are to be treated as the raw data points, and the rest procedure is as it is, like the case of the computation of standard deviation in discrete data set. So I think you are clear about the concept of the standard deviation. And there are other formulas too, other variations, but all formula gives the same value of standard deviation. We are not coming from the mathematics stream. So our concern is not to go through all these, different formulas for the computation of the same things. I said this point several times to you people. Okay. So once we compute the standard deviation, we can also estimate the variance. Variance is very simple. Variance is just square of the standard deviation. Once you will square the standard deviation, then that is called the variance. Any squared standard deviation is called the variance. Variance is the squared standard deviation. So this is the variance, and once you will divide the standard deviation by mean, then this is called the coefficient. Once we divide the standard deviation by mean, this is called the coefficient of standard deviation or coefficient of the variation. I have already said this point, and you are advised to compute standard deviation from this continuous frequency distribution. You note it right now. आप इसको नोट कर लीजिए इस डाटा को, और जो मैंने फॉर्मूला आपको बताया उसका प्रयोग करके स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन खुद निकाल लीजिए. ठीक है. स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन हमें निकालना है तो हम मीन के द्वारा भी निकाल सकते हैं, और हम चाहे तो डायरेक्ट रॉ डेटा के पॉइंट की यूज करके भी निकाल सकते हैं. ये मैंने आपको समझा दिया है. और स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन हम कंबाइंड भी निकाल सकते हैं. अगर हमारे पास दो ग्रुप हैं, अलग अलग ग्रुप हैं, तो ऐसे अवस्था में हम कंबाइंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन भी निकाल सकते हैं. तो अभी जब मैं आपको टी टेस्ट पढ़ाऊंगा तो वहाँ पे बेसिकली पेयर्ड अनपेयर्ड टी टेस्ट में ये पूल स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन की बात आती है, हमें करनी पड़ती है. तो वहाँ पे मैं आपको इसके बारे में ज़्यादा बताऊंगा. फिलहाल मैं आपको सलाह देता हूँ इस डेटा पॉइंट से आप स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन निकालिए. ये कंटिन्यूस फ्रीक्वेंसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का उदाहरण है. और इसी तरह से ये तो मैंने आपको बताया, इसमें से भी आप निकाल सकते हैं. ये आपका डिस्क्रीट फ्रीक्वेंसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का केस है, इसका भी आप फोटो ले लीजिए, इससे भी आप निकालिए. इसी तरह से ये आपका इंडिविजुअल का केस है, इसमें से भी आप स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन मैन्युअली निकाल के देखिए. तो इस तरह से आप तीनों केस में स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन मैन्युअली निकाल के देखेंगे, तभी आप के अंदर स्किल डेवलप होगा और ये आप एग्जाम में सही से कर पाएंगे. मुझे आज की क्लास में आपके साथ इतनी बातें करनी थी. मुझे लगता है कि डेलिब्रेशन आपको समझ में आया होगा. अगर आपके पास कुछ सवाल हो तो मुझे कर सकते हैं. लेट मी स्टॉप स्लाइड शेयर हियर बाय. थैंक यू. You can raise the hand and I can unmute accordingly to make question answer. Anyone please. Hand raise करिए, वीडियो ऑन करिए. All students are advised to turn on their video. अर्चना, चंद्रमोहन, निधि, पालक, स्मृति. वीडियो ऑन करिए. मैं आपका एक स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेता हूँ अटेंडेंस का. निधि, चंद्रमोहन. चंद्रमोहन जी. ऑल राइट. ओके अर्चना अटेंडेंस मार्क कर लेना, ठीक है। तो फिर आगे बताइए कि 20 तक हमें क्लास नहीं करनी है अर्चना।
सर नहीं है अभी क्लास करने में, ऐसा किसी ने पर्सनली तो नहीं किया, बट एक ने किया था कि मतलब अभी तो हमारे वैकेशंस चल रहे हैं। इतना कंफर्म तो मुझे भी नहीं बताया किसी ने।
शेयर कर लीजिए। एक्चुअली पढ़ाई तो अपनी है, ठीक है। इट्स ऑनलाइन क्लास, नोबडी इज बाउंड टू कम ऑफलाइन हियर एंड 145 मिनट क्लास। मैं समझता हूँ कि व्हाई टू गो फॉर प्रोकास्टिनेशन। यू आर इन योर होम, सेफ, हेल्दी, परफेक्टली ओके, गेटिंग टाइम, just this is the online communication for 45 minutes, not big deal. Still think अपने काम को कल के लिए हम क्यों टालें।
सर वो तो मैं अपना पर्सनली बता सकती हूँ, बाकी एग्जैक्ट मुझे पूरे क्लास का नहीं पता है कि मतलब उनके क्या क्या अपने रीजन है।
Just send me message, make a group message, send me, I'll put in group on my behalf, so you will be more safer. मैं लिखता हूँ, आप मुझे मैसेज ड्राफ्ट करिए, मुझे भेजिए, and I'll put this in group and you will get the response, how they think and what they advise. All right, तो ये सवाल कर लेना। सवाल नहीं करोगे तो बात बनेगा नहीं, सवाल करना पड़ता है, ठीक है। सवाल करने से ही आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी स्किल की, स्किल पता चलेगा तभी स्टैट में काम है, अदरवाइज ज़्यादा महत्व तो नहीं है इन चीज़ों का। तो एग्ज़ाम भी तो पास करनी है और मेरे को तो एग्ज़ाम पास करने की ज़रूरत है नहीं, ठीक है। ना पढ़ूं तो भी चलेगा, काहे को पढ़ना, थोड़ी देर आके आपके साथ बात कर लूं, बट यू हैव टू पास योर एग्ज़ाम। मैंने सुना वैसे आपके एग्ज़ाम में स्टैट और रिसर्च के क्वेश्चन जटिल नहीं आते हैं, सरल सरल च्यवनप्राश की तरह आते हैं और बढ़िया बढ़िया नंबर आ जाता है। कभी कभी हमारे जैसे एग्जामिनर हो तो फिर क्वेश्चन सवाल भी थोड़ा ठीक ठाक भी पूछ सकता है, एग्जाम तो एग्जाम ही होता है ना। तो अच्छे से पढ़ाई करनी चाहिए, ठीक है। तो आप लोग सब घर पे चले गए, यहीं हो पतंजलि में?
सर घर पर है अभी तो।
कोरोना वॉरियर्स को छुट्टी मिल गया?
सर वो तो कब की मिल गई थी, मतलब मंथ हो गया।
ठीक है डॉक्टर अर्चना, यू प्लीज मार्क द अटेंडेंस एंड सेंड मी। आज की क्लास यहीं पे समाप्त होती है। हैव अ गुड डे। थैंक यू फॉर योर काइंड अटेंशन।